welcome to the Joe and Andy podcast, episode number 1. This is good.
This is more like episode number 1A.
1A.
This isn't episode 1, this is a demo.
This is a demo tape by all means. Definitely a demo. But hey, if it's good, we might put it on the website. We don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows? Joe Northern, Andy Humphrey, and really, as you know us as we fill various roles here at KCOU. I host a little show called Happy Hour on Fridays, do some basketball work, football work, pulse work as well. That's how I know this guy, Andy Humphrey. Can you tell them what you do on
I also do the Pulse. I'm an anchor and a producer, and I worked with Joe for the last year on that. And I have another show. It's Salute Your Sports. Did you find your old hat?
I found my old hat near
you. Found your old hat?
Yes.
You've been looking for a long time for that, man.
Well, the thing is that I left it here over break, and it was probably during a UCLA game when I produced that 8-hour marathon of sports, and I wasn't thinking about it.
You've had to.
I just wanted to get out of here because it was 12 bars of Christmas, and I had a wristband. And
did you have to take any supplements for that?
I did not. Unlike what I've been having to do this past week, because
you're not doing so hot this week.
No, I'm not. Like, I've had some coughing issues. I've taken 7 Mucin XDM in the past 2 days.
Doesn't work.
It doesn't work. I've learned that the hard way. I know Mark, the student media coordinator here at the station, he's recommended that I take boil some water and get some mint leaves and then sniff that up or something. I mean, I don't know how that would work. He says it'll clear you right up, but I don't trust herbal remedies. No offense, Mark, you're still the man, but I don't trust.
So great,
I just don't trust.
This is Joe's life on the line.
Yes, this is how I'm supposed to have a career.
This could be very, very life changing.
I could sound like I've smoked 7 packs of menthol cigarettes for the rest of my life. You never know.
Didn't you win that game show for Dave Chappelle? I know black people.
I did win that, actually.
You did win that.
That was a good day, and some bootleg DVDs as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is the first podcast. Tell you about our break.
Yeah.
How was your break?
It was great.
I know you went the trip down to good old Central Florida and Kissimmee.
Central Florida, not Kissimmee.
Not Kissimmee, but Disney World's around Kissimmee, though, isn't it?
Kind of.
I thought they were always marketing those two together, Kissimmee and Walt Disney World.
Well, yeah, I was in the World O Disney.
You're in the World O Disney.
World O Disney, and did all the parks and everything. I have a 10-year-old sister. She enjoyed it.
Not bad.
Except we pretended that she was 9 years old because at Disney you're technically considered an adult when you're 10.
Anything to get that money. The mouse
that's
house.
kind of when the Disney wears off on you.
That's true. That is true. I know I went when I was 9 because my aunt, she did this trip with my sister and I. Anytime we turned 9 years old, because that's the last year, you could get that child discount. We went to Disney World. She took us down for a week. I went to Disney MGM. Well, now Disney Hollywood, but I still remember it's Disney MGM. Epcot, Magic Kingdom. Didn't go to Animal Kingdom, but we did a 3-day park hopper pass, and it was just, as a 9-year-old, it was awesome. It was.
Hey, if you're a little kid, you need to go.
You do need to go, absolutely. And then I went a few years later to Disneyland in California, and that was all right. But I mean, I wanted to go to the beach all when I was in California. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have mad love for the Disneyland, especially the Pizza Planet.
The Pizza Planet.
Now I look at it, it was probably some of the worst pizza I've ever had.
Really?
I really didn't like Pizza Planet whenever we went back in.
Was that Disneyland?
It was a Disneyland. It wasn't a Disney World, but it was
the
a
Disney
Disneyland.
World is different. Well, I don't know. But the recipe's got to be different,
I don't know.
A long way away.
I mean, they have different. Well, you have to vary it up a little bit between the Disneyland or the Disney World.
I remember that Pizza Planet was probably the one thing that we, in my family, did not want to miss on.
You did not want to miss. I mean, I didn't either.
I mean, because the line gets so long.
Well, yeah, because everybody knows a Pizza Planet from Toy Story.
I mean, come on.
Now, was it a little doughy when you had it a little thin? Mine was thin whenever I went in California.
You had a bad experience.
Yeah, I had a bad experience.
You had a bad Disney experience. Get your money back.
Yeah,
They'll say no,
they'll do
but
that.
hey,
of course they'll say no.
Well,
I mean, 8 years later, they're not going to vouch on that. I mean, I've had a bad experience for many years with Disney. Not in the theme parks. The theme parks are great, but the home videos, though, with the Sorcerer Mickey logo and whatnot, I hate that.
Oh, yeah, we conquered his fear, or we attempted to conquer his fear on Happy Hour, the pre-season premiere last week. It was an experience, and we were so surprised by that.
Really?
Because here's the thing. It's a video, but you know it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
You know it's coming.
You see the FBI warnings and don't copy this tape or you'll die.
But how are you scared of that?
Well, it's like you're in a dark room. Like, this is the initial fear when it came up to me. When I was a little kid, like 3 or 4 years old, my mom used to buy all the Disney sing-along tapes because she was a music teacher back at my local school, at the school I graduated from and whatnot. But she taught elementary music, middle school, high school. She did it all. And on days that she wasn't there, whether she was giving birth to my sister or whenever we were sick, she had the subs just show Disney sing-along videos. But then we started watching them a lot. It's like, hey, I like this. But I always had to tell my folks...
Ooh, that's a profound message there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
But, like, with Mickey dressed up in, like, a sorcerer outfit and, from Fantasia, and just you hear that note, that womp, it's not a good time. Arnold, you explain a little more while I get some Gatorade.
Well, yeah, I mean, we played the video on the podcast. Joe is coughing up lungs right now. But we had to conquer that fear. We played it on the show, and it was very weird. He clams up. You clammed up when you first saw the video for the first time in a long time. I mean, it
had been like 10, 12 years since I've seen it.
It was like you had rediscovered some really dark magic that you experienced as a 4-year-old.
Well, like if you had it on when you were going to bed at night, that you wanted like some bright things. Because as weird as it sounds, I like having some bright things when I go to sleep. Like I leave my TV on, and my laptop sometimes plays some music and whatnot. But seeing like something dark and conflicting, that's not good. I hate I hate it.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, though, that's not the only logo I had a fear for when I was a kid.
Which one?
This is going to sound pathetic. I hated the 20th Century Fox logo.
I didn't like it either.
Really?
Well, you're talking about the one...
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like Chris Berman doing a drum roll for a second. It's alive. But yeah, no, I was scared of that one too when I was a kid. Like, where most kids are scared of boogeymen, really dangerous animals, wolves, knives. I was scared of movie logos.
Wow.
That's
an odd thing. I'll tell you one thing that I was scared of, though.
Okay, what were you scared of?
Have you ever watched Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? The old one.
Oh, of course. Oh, I watch that every night. Oh, yeah.
Regis.
It's Regis, baby. Regis.
It's Regis. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? So, what scared me was the horn at the end. I would go and stand like in like a corner of a room away from the TV, because I knew it was coming.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't know when it was coming. It was towards the end of the show, and you didn't know when exactly the show was going to end. When they were going to say, "Okay, we're going to stop and continue this next, tomorrow."
Well, I mean, that's just part of the excitement of it, though. That's the thing.
But it terrified me for some reason. I was terrified by the noise and all the lights going off, and I was like,
Well, I mean, it wasn't scary for me. I was just because it was over. That's really what it came down to.
Well, same here. I mean, I like the show, and
because it's Regis, baby.
Regis, baby.
We have a guest hopping into the studio, Carson Cornelious, joining us. Carson's sports director. Hi, how you doing?
Good. Just thought I'd stop by, see how this is going. Sounds like you guys are having a gas in here.
It's a train wreck.
It's an absolute
An
train wreck.
unmitigated train wreck.
He's coughing up blood and everything, and he's
well, at least you're honest with it. That's
I mean, listen, if it's getting out of me now, like Tuesday, I know when you guys saw me Tuesday, you said I looked like a zombie or something, like I just died.
I mean, I'll be honest, Joe, you look like hell, and that's being generous. So there's no worries there, but
it was a bad day. Like I think I had like one of those 24-hour bugs.
Yeah.
And it just, like, really all started to settle in that day. And I was like, oh, my goodness. I'll tell you what happened with last night, though. I also have a second job as the public address announcer for Columbia College men's.
Did you go to work?
I did go to work last night.
Oh.
I was fine, surprisingly. But there was one point during the women's game. I had to take a ton of meds before I went in. And it was, I had to take, like, a Mucinex DM.
Doesn't work.
Advil, cold, and sinus.
He was all drugged up.
I was all drugged up.
No, there's your story from this podcast. Is that Joe Northern gets drugged up before his games over?
Well, I mean, like there was one point where I felt like
he's like falling asleep.
Number 29.
No.
Hey, let's admit though that some of the best in the business are the best at what they do when they're either drunk or like on drugs.
Yeah,
that's true.
Harry Carey,
drunk.
Cup fan, Bud man.
Vin Scully probably drunk sometimes.
I don't know.
Well,
he doesn't seem like much of a drinker.
I think he has to drug up.
Yeah,
I think Vin's got a drug.
Probably has to take some pills.
Fine, that's fair. And then Harry Carey's a big one though. That's why.
Mike Shannon though. Mike
Shannon loves the booze.
Like he probably downs a pitcher of Budweiser before every game.
I don't get how Mike Shannon isn't on like Budweiser posters across the city. Like you can be Mike Shannon. This can be you.
Well, I mean,
the life of the party and in the broadcast booth.
Exactly.
He is, and John Rooney's just sitting there like, oh well, you know.
Dude, sometimes John Rooney you can just tell like John Rooney's like, dude, Shannon is too far gone. Like this is this is not working at all.
I sort of came up with sort of like a system on how they do it because obviously Shannon he calls the first, second, fifth, and then like eighth and ninth. Like, usually, he downs, like, maybe a few beers before the game, tries to recover at the end of the second inning, just downs, like, another two Budweisers, does the fifth, like, yeah. Here's a straight call.
He's hungover by the fifth. He's drunk again by the ninth. But my question is now, what happens to him? Like, what would happen if he did a game sober? Like, what? I don't think anybody knows. I don't think Mike Shannon knows what a game like would be sober for him.
I don't think anyone who's listened to Cardinal baseball for the past 40 years knows that. It's always been a surprise for me. But I mean, well, I will say this: playoffs, he is sober.
Playoffs? You kidding me?
Playoffs, yeah, playoffs. He was sober because
I feel like that's the best time to do it, though.
It is the best time to do it, and probably I mean sober. I maybe 3 or 4 beers in him.
Oh, okay.
That's on my list of things to do before I die or graduate or something. Is just do a game, just hammered.
Just do a game.
One time. That's all I want.
That's it.
I think it'd be frowned. I think it'd be really frowned upon, but I think it would be really funny.
I mean, like you said, the best.
Well, here's the thing: if you did one drunk, would you want your partner to be drunk too?
No, the partner's got to be sober. Someone's got to keep this train rolling.
Okay.
And it's not going to be me.
But it'd be just kind of it wouldn't be as fun for you.
It wouldn't be as fun. That's the thing. Like your partner would look at you like you're a complete fool.
Yeah.
And you'd just be like, "What are you talking about?"
Like you're not like that drunk. You're just borderline. Just to the point where you can say enough stupid things that it makes sense. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we got bleeps. We're good.
Okay,
we got bleeps.
We have audio editing. We have the technology. That's good.
We do.
You know.
I don't know. Like I couldn't do a game obliterated. I mean, if I had maybe like a beer in me, I could probably do it. But I mean, like if you're talking 2 or 3 deep,
that's the joys of life.
It's the joys behind the mic too.
Yeah, the joys behind the mic, I suppose. Yeah. So okay, I gotta propose this. I don't know if we're doing a show next week. I want to know how you guys feel about this because I've been really kind of grappling with this all week, so I'm kind of still trying to decide. With the whole Richard Sherman thing, did that change which team you were rooting for? Because like for me,
Absolutely
They
not.
really want to root for the Seahawks. I'm like, okay, and I will admit, I am a card-carrying Peyton Manning hater. I do not like Peyton Manning, so I am rooting hard for the Seahawks to down the Broncos. But, like, you know, maybe I'm the only one. Am I the only Peyton Manning hater out there?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
I think I am.
I think, well, why do you hate Peyton so much? It's the thing.
What did he ever do to you?
Big freaking head, and he like knows everything, and he throws ducks, and
He's
beat
in
the
every
Bears. He
commercial.
beat the Bears in the Super Bowl in
There you go.
2006.
Oh,
There you
okay.
go.
So
But
it's
like,
personal.
you know, I mean, it's a little personal.
I will say this. I have something like that against Tom Brady because he and his school, well, more so towards Adam Vinatieri
Yeah.
in that case.
Wow.
The Rams in Super Bowl 36.
That's one of the best Super Bowls of all time.
I know, and
You know,
it's still the worst Super Bowl of all time.
You can only hope that we would get another Super Bowl like that this year. I mean, in a season where I'm not particularly invested by either side, I don't really care who wins the Super Bowl. I'm not like totally bummed if the Broncos win, or I'm not thrilled if the Seahawks win. I mean, I'm just rooting for a good game, you know. But I mean, like, you know, you have to think about it though. In our lifetime, guys, we've seen some of the greatest Super Bowls of all time.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh
The
yeah.
Tyree catch, the 1 yard short. You know, some of these
Yeah.
games have been some of the best.
Ben
no.
Roethlisberger
Yeah, Ben
beating
Roethlisberger.
the
Yeah,
Cardinals.
I mean, these are some of the great games in NFL history, and we've been very lucky to be able to see that. And I mean, like, I guess that also comes with, you know, the game developing
Developing over time, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know, man. The
Like
Super
the
Bowl's
past
so
four,
special.
the past 4 or 5 Super Bowls, probably some of the best that we've seen. You know,
I think last year's Super Bowl was not as exciting.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know why there was
Trying to
just not.
remember
There was.
last
I mean,
year.
there
San
wasn't-
Francisco had
That's
that
right.
comeback.
I mean, they were close, but there was no high drama to it. I don't know. I just didn't think that. I don't know. I was really.
They let the power out of the building and everything
Yeah.
it was downhill from there.
Yeah,
no one
it's
no one
true.
wants to
halftime
remember
show
that.
was fantastic.
Oh.
Yeah, Queen. Everybody loves some
Well,
Queen
they
Bey.
used all of the juice for that halftime show, I
Yeah.
guess.
And then Beyonce
Well,
just
yeah,
sucked
I
it
think
out.
it'd be a good halftime show this year. Bruno Mars and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I
Can
Can
mean,
we just get rid of Bruno Mars?
it's just the Red Hot Chili
Just
Peppers.
Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'd be
Dude,
fine with
I
that.
mean, I still say that we should have done a Bon Jovi, Bruce Springsteen, Super New Jersey show.
I would have had a massive
Yeah,
man. I would have had a
Oh, yeah.
massive mangasm if that would have been the case. 2 of my favorite artists of all time, Bon Jovi and
The
Bruce.
Bon. I'm telling you, man, I went and saw. This was my senior year of high school. I went and saw Bon Jovi in concert. Man, I think I was probably the only person under the age of 30 that wasn't, or like a woman.
or
But,
not a woman.
Dude, that guy puts on a concert. Man.
He really
it's
does.
Unbelievable. What a fantastic show. That's one of the best concerts I've ever been to. Hands down. It was just fantastic.
I mean, even though as invested as in music I am, I really haven't been to that many concerts, believe it or not.
Well, I haven't either. I don't do concerts. I don't
Neither
do
do I.
huge events.
I feel the same way.
I've been to 2. Here's how sorry my concert is.
Your concert slate.
My concert slate has been.
All right,
I've been to 2 Styx concerts.
Come sail away.
That was the highlight of
Wait,
me attending
wait,
concerts
no.
in high school.
No,
Was 2 Styx concerts.
Wait, you went to two different.
Two different
Styx.
Styx concerts.
How
with
does
the
that
same
happen?
people.
Where did you go see Styx? Like-
Actually, the same place. It's the Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion in
okay.
Houston.
Okay.
It was the first time. It was actually the first one was Foreigner opening for Styx.
Okay,
Well, that would have been a
pretty
good
cool.
show.
Foreigner opening for Styx, opening for Def Leppard.
Oh wow!
Whoa.
Then the next one, it was Kansas opening for Foreigner, opening for Styx.
So
Wow.
you technically
So I
you
saw
see
Foreigner and
twice.
Styx twice.
Dude, you went to see Foreigner twice.
Yeah,
Holy guacamole!
They're great.
That's pretty.
they're
sick.
great.
That's
They
pretty
are.
fantastic.
Kansas, awful.
Kansas was bad.
Yeah.
They-
Well,
they have
here's
like a few
here's the
famous
thing.
songs.
Here's
One
the
song.
thing. Well, they have one song. Well, they've got 2 songs.
2 songs.
Yeah.
Kevin
But
and
the
Justin
venue,
went.
they were opening, and they started pretty early. The venue was half full when they were there,
That's a bummer.
and you
That
know,
sucks.
yeah.
and they never really took control. Everybody knew that they were there for somebody else, and they were just waiting to see Styx.
That's fair.
I know.
Yeah.
I really didn't get back into the concert going mood until this past summer. Whenever my folks they decided to buy the country mega ticket over at Verizon Wireless Amphitheater in St. Louis, and like they got tickets to like 10 different shows. Some of them arguably some of the biggest shows of the year, if not the decade. At that concert, you just broke a chair, didn't you?
Dude, what are you
Accident.
doing
I
with
don't
our
know what
equipment
happened.
here?
Yeah, but at this rate, by the
We
time
don't have the budget for that.
by the time the podcast is done, the fucking studio we brought. Guy, I gotta watch his mouth.
You're fine. You're fine. You're fine.
I know we have the beeping, but I should not use these kinds of words in the studio.
Hey,
not good
it
leadership
happens.
skills.
It happens. But now the shows I went and saw though, saw Kenny Chesney back in June. Also, he puts on a hell of a show.
I've heard.
Yeah.
He puts on a very good show, despite sometimes they're like, it's not that good.
She thinks my tractor sexy.
He played that for 10 minutes.
Oh,
that's his encore.
man,
Wow.
That's awesome.
That was a good one. Trying to think. Saw Blake Shelton back in July, but
Now, okay, so Blake Shelton concert.
he's hammered the entire time.
Well, yeah, I know.
He's gotta be. He's gotta be.
I mean, he's gotta be.
Yeah,
But you said that you were trying to find some women there.
I was.
Did you?
I did.
I'm surprised by that because the majority of women that go to Blake Shelton concert are 40 to 50 years old.
No, there were some there. Well, it was women.
Maybe
I
it
knew in
depends
that
on the
case.
location because
It
when
was
I
the
went to
location.
Rodeo Houston, that's the case.
Well, Verizon, they cater to a very young audience too.
I guess so.
Verizon, it's it's right in the middle of the suburbs. All the kids from the high schools and whatnot, they buy tickets because tickets are actually really cheap to go there. It's like maybe $15-$20 to go sit in the lawn, and there's not a bad seat in the lawn there.
Yeah.
And speaking of the lawn, there was also one very awesome show I went to 2 years ago before the start of my freshman year at SEMO, mostly known as Screamo. Blink-182, My Chemical Romance, and Manchester Orchestra. That's right, but
There you go.
the first two, here's the thing, Manchester Orchestra was aight. My Chemical Romance, the only songs that they did good during was just the older ones that did, because some of their new ones, the na, like the newer MCR, it's terrible. You know?
Yeah, their glory days are behind them.
Everything.
Long behind them, too.
Long behind them. It's been 8-9 years since they released that first album?
Yeah, it's some of these bands fizzle out. My Chemical Romance never really blossomed into something huge.
Yeah, but for the time they were
Are
big.
they the band? I may be mistaken by this. Actually, I think this is Florence and the Machine. But isn't it like there's one girl and then she tours basically by herself, and she has people in certain locations that just pick her up and do shows in certain locations. Most of these people don't even travel.
I want to say maybe Florence and the Machine, but I don't know. I really don't know.
I think that was what it was.
Maybe, but
That's what I heard.
But she's got a band behind her too. They do.
But it's different people.
It's different people.
It's different people each time. The band doesn't travel with her because she knows all kinds of band people around the country, and whenever she tours, she just goes by herself because she knows that they're just going to stay there and cover.
I guess so.
That's the life.
That would be the life.
Because that way you don't get sick of people.
That's true. Maybe she likes to experiment with different kinds of groups and bands and whatnot.
Yeah.
Bands that make her dance. There you go.
Oh, man.
We just went off the deep end with a little Juicy J reference, didn't we? Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. I'm trying to think. Other concerts. That's really about it. I saw Switchfoot my freshman year. That was actually decent.
I saw Switchfoot at the Boy Scout Jamboree.
The Boy Scout Jamboree.
Yes.
How
free Switchfoot concert.
Hey, that's not bad. As much
it
as
was at the the closing ceremonies they had, and they were awesome.
That's awesome. I think it was them and I'm trying to think some other Christian bands like Athlete or something. I don't know. But that's really I've only been to 5 concerts despite my deep love for music of all genres. Because once again, for those of you that listen to Happy Hour, 1 minute we're playing Tim McGraw's I Like It, I Love It. Next minute we're playing Esther Dean, Drop It Low Girl. It varies, and that's that just divulges back into my taste of classic music or whatnot. Let's see if we can get Eric Kelly in here.
Yeah, let's see if I'm going to try and get Eric.
Let's see if we can get Robert, his
my co-host on Salute Your Sports.
Saturday afternoons from noon to 2 whenever we're not preempting it on Missouri Tiger Athletics. Where is Robert? I think we're looking here. There's Kaileen. We can get Kaileen in here.
Come in here.
Yeah, let's get Kaileen Gaul. How about that? She's got a new show debuting, Coveralls, Mondays, I believe, here on KCOU.
Also from Houston, that's where I'm from.
Yes, you guys have a bit of a Houston Houston love affair in that case. Well, she's from the Woodlands though. Where were you originally from?
I was from West Houston.
From West Houston.
You're from the Hoodlands.
The Hoodlands, which is like the most.
Yes.
Oh,
This
okay.
is the joke.
This is how it works.
I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I'm from the Woodlands, the suburb, actually, where Arcade Fire wrote the album "The Suburbs" about.
Oh, so they wrote it about the Woodlands.
Yes. Okay. It's the weirdest place. It's a planned community, and it's one of like the first ones. So now it's weirdly upper class, but we moved there right before it like exploded. But we're getting the Exxon World headquarters there.
You're getting the Exxon World headquarters.
That makes sense.
It's ridiculous.
My goodness. Now I talked to you about a week ago. Whenever you came back and whatnot. Andy loves Whataburger. You're not a fan of it. Well,
You've got
it.
kidding me.
No, it's burgers, and you can get burgers anywhere.
But it's the best burger. It's the best fast food burger you've ever had.
What
I
about
want to
Five
take
Guys?
a minute to note that I took a big bite out of my freaking granola bar, and I got crumbs everywhere. These things fucking suck.
that they do.
Like we were just. Oh my god.
This has been a public service announcement from Carson Cornelious.
Don't eat granola bars. Don't eat
No,
granola
it's
bars.
Nature's Valley Bar. It's its own class of granola bars. It's like extra.
That's true.
granola.
It's got like
Is it extra granola or something?
No,
or?
it's like
it just
flakes and
way too crunchy, and it gets everywhere when you take one bite. You know? You've never eaten one?
I haven't. I don't intend on it. Like usually, I just get like the Quaker ones. There's like the Quaker Chewies because they got.
There you go. That's the way to go. But when you have the Nature Valley, they're good.
Mhm.
But
do they get flaky on you?
yeah,
At this very moment, I'm actually eating a Special K granola bar. Would not recommend.
When is it
has,
flakier or
It
like
has like
what
the
is it?
fake sugar, so it's like tastes weird.
Well, how fake are we talking? Like the fake sugar in the Special K itself, or the?
Like Splenda. I'm not impressed. Don't buy. I don't know. I just bought a granola bar like half of it. This is the least interesting thing I've said all day.
Don't buy a Special K bar.
It's not great.
My goodness.
That's all I can really say.
That's all I can really say. Now, Kaileen, you got to tell us about the new show you've thought about it for the longest
yeah.
time. Like ever since whenever we chilled over last summer, you're like, I want to do the show, and somehow you landed it right before the Pulse coming up on Monday.
Oh no, actually we changed it. It was yesterday at 11, so Thursdays at 11.
Oh, Thursday's at 11 now. My bad.
No.
My bad.
Thursdays at 11.
It's great. It's called Coveralls, and we play all covers, and it's really fun. We decided to do that because me and my roommate Nathan, we heard the song No Angels, which is Bastille's cover of No Scrubs, and we're like, we should make a show just about covers because this is amazing.
I remember the day you told me about that song, and I played it right before our Pulse.
Yeah.
I guess I was filling in for... I forgot who I was filling in for that day, but you're like, you need to play this cover of No Scrubs.
Wasn't
and I'm
it
like,
a great recommendation?
oh, I love it.
Everyone does.
I've played it on my show since, so I mean,
Good.
there you go.
It's amazing.
There you go. Andy, I'll have to show it to you at some point.
You should.
Yesterday was a fun show. We had a variety. We played a song from the 1930s, which was an anti-cover of Cups by Anna Kendrick or whatever.
An anti-cover.
That's what we called it. But it was kind of awful. But people dealt.
They
And
dealt
then we
with it.
played Purity Ring's cover of Soulja Boy's Grammy. So that was
Soulja Boy had a
interesting.
song called Grammy?
Yeah.
I didn't know
I
that.
don't know his full discography, but like...
Does he even have a full discography?
Who knows? Who knows what Soulja Boy's up to?
Andy,
When you mention Soulja Boy, I get no words in my mind to say about Soulja Boy.
What if he's
Except
like
for a terrible dance.
the artist of our generation? Like
Probably
we look back in
is.
100 years and like that's who they remember.
We created Soulja Boy.
we did, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Monstrosity.
That's what we get.
That's unfortunately what we get, creating
That's the bane of our existence.
I'm sorry.
terrible artists and whatnot. But no, besides that, Coveralls, like you said, it's a 1 hour show, or did you guys get it's just
I
a
wanted
one?
1 hour because honestly, 2 hours of covers, I'm like, I'm not.
Sounds like half the other shows on the station by that point.
I thought an hour was good. It worked out pretty well, except in the first 11 minutes we did have 2 technical errors, but you know.
What was it? The Megaseg screwed up on you, or what?
No,
Or what
the
happened?
Pioneer didn't play. And then I actually hit load too soon, so I cut out like the last 6 seconds of a song, but it was no big deal.
I mean, 6 seconds doesn't make a big of a deal. 11 minutes, maybe so.
We got no
Wonder-
complaints.
I wonder if the overnight show kind of broke it. Who knows? Because that's what happens to me whenever I come in. Because usually I'm the first show on Fridays that uses the Pioneer, and I think the last show, I think it's like an affront to your delicate sensibilities or something. Like the Pioneer, they like adjusted in a weird way where like CD2 just starts it instantly like, no, I don't want that.
Yeah, the Pioneer is a complex organism. You have to like caress it, basically.
You have to caress the Pioneer at that point.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness.
It has to be a slow and painful death sometimes.
Yeah.
With the Pioneer. It sometimes it fritzes out, and you just don't. You have no other options because you can't really put it on the Mega Seg.
No, you can't.
Mega Seg has terrible music.
I think we should have a way with just to plug in our laptop.
That would be great.
That'd be so
That's what we want to do with this podcast.
Yes, we're trying to figure that out right now.
You can actually hear this without it being very faint.
Yeah. I mean, we'll figure it out we're going to figure it out somehow, even if it's through post-production. I mean, with Carson obviously dropping back to back to back. See, that's just going to be bleeped right there. There you go.
Yeah, this is true.
But who knows? We'll figure it out and whatnot. Kaileen, thank you for randomly hopping on.
Me.
You know, you're welcome anytime for the...
Thank you. I'm going to go work out the Meet My Future Roommate. We'll see
Meet
how
Your
that
Future
works
Roommate.
out.
So you have more people moving into...
No, I'm not getting that house. It filled up.
Oh,
they snuck it out. But it's okay. I'm probably going to live at UPA.
Oh. All
That's
right.
everyone's reaction.
Oh, well...
The location.
Okay.
Okay.
I
Kaileen Gaul, everybody. Gaul. Hey!
Thank you.
All right. Well, I think we filled up quite a bit of time on this. Anything else we want to wrap it up with before we get out of here today?
This is just a demo. I mean, come on. We're going to save the good stuff for next week.
Yes, we'll save it for next week. You'll hear it right here, KCOU.FM. We're trying to get a TV simulcast, too. I've talked to some people.
Not trying to. We will get one.
We will get a TV simulcast with MUTV. At least post the video on a Facebook, on a YouTube channel, hopefully, at some point. Is the name Joe and Andy Podcast taken yet?
You think I know?
I don't think so.
Let me search it on YouTube.
Here, you search Joe and Andy Podcast.
Search Joe and Andy Podcast.
What do you got?
Joe Rogan Live Podcast with Andy Dick. That's the closest.
All right, so
That's the closest we have to it.
I might need to get on that and register for it then. Might need to register the Joe and Andy Podcast on YouTube.
Joe Rogan's got a podcast.
Oh, well,
tell you something, Mr. Joe Rogan.
You crazy Joe Rogan.
You crazy Joe Rogan.
Well, I mean, he's had it for a while, though. Like, Joe Rogan's podcast is great. I'm not going to lie.
Hey.
It is usually a lean time had by all.
Okay.
It is a lean time had by all. All right.
He hasn't posted one in quite a while.
Well, I mean, ever since he picked up the job with Fox Sports 1 doing UFC, or whenever Fox Sports 1 came to prominence, at least, because he's been working for UFC though for the longest times.
Yeah.
And usually he's the guy you interview like, all right, I'm the winner here. But of course, we know him as the great host of Fear Factor. We're feared. All right, Tyrone. All right, folks. That's gonna do it for the Joe and Andy podcast. Tune in next week when Andy does his best impersonations, or we might play a clip of his best Taylor Swift impersonation.
You don't want to miss that.
You don't. We'll see you next week.